Okay, I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Tammy Anderson Ward. I'm the Energy Healing Conference producer. We've been doing these conferences for almost 10 years now, and I am so freaking thrilled to be here. We are going to be heading over to Idaho Falls, Idaho this coming weekend, and I have a few speakers that I'd like to spotlight for you today so that you can get in on it, on some really cool information, get to know the practitioner, and also perhaps even win a free session with her. I'm going to go ahead and put her website up across the screen here so that you can see it. Whether you're watching on the live or on the replay, I'd love to have you connect with Joy Beck. She's honestly, one of my sweetest friends, somebody that I trust to go to with energy healing for myself and for my family, which is a big deal to me. She is the creator of Joyful Options. She's the dedicated mother of 4 amazing kids, 2 daughters-in-law, and 2 darling grandsons as well. She's certified in several healing modalities, both certified as body code and as an emotion code practitioner as well. She's also taken advanced energy wellness classes and offers harmonic light therapy with her foot zoning. So good. So good. Joy specializes in emotional release and also chakra balancing as well. As a teacher of littles for 27 years, one of her superpowers is teaching kids how to recognize and embrace their greatness. She does a fantastic job with kids. Joy is a lifelong learner and sprinkles sunshine wherever she goes. She enjoys hiking, making connections, traveling, and meditation. And I'm so thrilled to bring her on right now. So please go ahead and welcome the amazing Joy Beck. How are you, my friend?
Great. How are you?
I'm so good. So good. I am so excited to bring you on today because I want to have you tell a little bit about yourself, about how you got into this. And I'd love to hear also about the body code contest that you're going to be doing. And there might be some people who are joining us today that are not familiar with what body code is. So I would also love to have you, explain it and how people can benefit from it, what type of people you like working with, all the things. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.
You bet.
Hi, guys. I am Joy Beck, and I am the creator of Joyful Options. And just a little bit about me, and then a little bit about what I do and how I help others. I am a mama of 4 kiddos, and I've have a lot of experience on different levels. I have been divorced twice. My kiddos have gone through that route, and we've navigated through those waters. The class that I teach, that I'll be teaching this Saturday at 10 o'clock, is called Joy Centered Healing for the Whole Family. Sorry, I'm a cheat sheet there because I've changed the name a little bit. And one of the things that I can add value to others is that I have been a mama and had my life not be completely perfect, right? So then we learn through those, through that contrast. And then I've also been a teacher, and actually this is my 28th year teaching. And so I've taught a lot of the littles, but I've seen a lot of things that have worked really well in families' lives, and then things that maybe not so much. So I have that insight as well. I grew up here in Idaho, in Aberdeen, and grew up on a farm. Great work ethic. And I learned from my mama about holistic healing, the starts of it. And that's where that journey began for me. And one of the things that I love, as Tammy said, and I'm sure it's because I'm a teacher, maybe, is that continual learning. And when I came across, probably the very first thing, growing up, I learned about oils. I learned about how to use them, what to do with them. And then I came across foot zoning. So foot zoning was one of probably my very first modalities that I officially got the training in, and have been doing that for probably 13, maybe 14 years. And at the conferences, as well as local peeps, I offer mini sessions at the conferences. So this conference, this Saturday here in Idaho Falls at the Hilton, I will offer both mini foot zone sessions, 20 minutes, as well as mini body code sessions. And I'll tell you about those and what that entails. So the foot zone was for the first thing that I learned, and I loved it. It was really similar to reflexology that my mom had learned about, and got a job working for a holistic practitioner in Aberdeen. And so it always intrigued me, but I knew that I could learn it, right? Because that's what we do. We learn things that we want to learn about. And I also wanted to be able to use that modality and that way of helping with my own children. So that's where I started. That's where that came from. And then I've been able to just add things as I go. I've taken energy classes to be able to then turn around and like shift the energy in the room. And I've done a lot of that in my life to be able to kind of balance out things when things get a little crazy. I don't know about you, but in my life at times, not so lovely, right? And so it's been a little tricky. And so anything that I can learn or I hear about that I think, ooh, this could help, I always go to mine first. So me and my kids when they were little, because my kids are now teenagers to adults, but I went through that process when they were just little, and then all those little journeys along the way. So did that, and then I came across the modality of the body code, and emotion code first and then body code. And Dr. Bradley Nelson is the creator of that modality. And I love it only because, well, not only, one of the things I love best is the fact that it is super non-invasive. As you might imagine, because my life hasn't been picture perfect. I don't know whose is, but I'll own mine. And there were things I needed to heal from. And there are things that I discovered along the way that I didn't even know had happened or had happened. And I went, how do I change that? How do I make that better? So Dr. Bradley Nelson, his original first program is called Emotion Code. And the premise behind it is that we all experience emotions. And this is kind of like for the new person that has no clue what this is. And we all experience emotions, and typically we process through them as humans, right? And we let them go. We experience them, that we feel the feelings, and then we let them go. But there are times when we feel the feelings, and usually if it's an extreme emotion, and it can be from extreme happy to extreme not so happy, right? And all of those things in between. And when we experience those, but we don't process them through, then they can get stuck. And the idea that Dr. Brad has is that they can get stuck in our bodies, and different organs and glands generate those emotions. And if they're not processed through, they can get stuck in our bodies. And then it can cause a disruption in our energy field. And what's super great now compared to when I was a kid and my mom was working for the nature practitioner in Aberdeen is they have so much science now that explains that we really do have an energy field, and we really do have that we're made of waves. Sorry. Some days I can explain things, and it's been the end of a teaching day. So if I am really off and you're like, what is she talking about? Come on Saturday and I'll explain it a little bit better. But if we don't process those feelings, they can get energetically lodged in our body. And so there's a process to find it through muscle testing, to find out what emotions are still stuck, and a way to release that in a very non-invasive, super simple, really mild way to be able to release and let go of anything that's not serving for your best interest. So that's kind of what that premise on emotion code is. And then later on, he developed the system called body code. And with that, body code actually has the emotion code portion within it. So when you have a session with me or anyone else that is certified in both of those modalities, you get the benefit of whatever your body needs to release and process through. So body code, what it does is it has options of from your physical. I'm going to cheat her pants just a minute because one, I say kind of weird things because I like to. That's kind of fun. But I want to not miss anything for you. So it has from the emotional wellness, it has our body system balance, toxin, any kind of toxin resolutions, pathogen resolutions that might be still working in us, a structural balance, as well as nutritional and lifestyle. So if there are any kind of imbalances within our bodies through muscle testing, which is a technique to find yes or no, to find what's imbalanced, and then finding out if there's any underlying causes or any kind of hidden reasons behind those imbalances, and then to be able to release it through the governing meridian, which goes back to Chinese medicine. And so the process is really simple, and I liked it because at the time that I learned this process, one is that I had experienced it. I had had sessions with a gal, Rachel Paulson, who actually is Dr. Bradley Nelson's niece. So fun how those happy coincidences happen. I had experienced some of the benefits of doing that, to have my body experienced it. I didn't have as much stress in my neck and my shoulders as I typically do. My jaw, that tends to think it should clench at all times, was able to just relax a little bit. So I felt some benefits physically. I also was able to feel some benefits, like just emotionally. I wasn't as scattered. I wasn't feeling like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And at the time that I came across this, I was a single mama for the second time. So there were a lot of emotions, a lot of guilt, a lot of hope, failure feelings, a lot of hopelessness and lack of self-confidence. Those kinds of feelings were ones that would typically make sense. If your journey kind of was along those ways, it makes you wonder if you're doing anything right. Well, we do the best that we can do until we learn different, right? At least that's what the hope is. And so when I came across Dr. Brad's body code and emotion code, I was very blessed at the time to be able to get the instructions and to get that training and to be able to then start to offer it to help. And of course, I started with me and mine first. And then I'm kind of one of those people. I do try to scatter sunshine along the way because I just can't help myself. If something's working for me and I see a benefit, and my favorite is when I see it in my kids, right? When I saw them as younger kids, and they would come to me and be like, Mom, this is how I'm feeling. Can you help me? And my favorite now is I have kids, my from a teenager to young adults, and for my second daughter, my oldest daughter, to go, Mom, this is off. Can you see what's up? And she knows that she's felt those benefits, and she's felt physical benefits from this process, as well as the emotional. And for her to come and ask when there was a time she was allergic to me. That's one of the funny things I say, because as teenagers, sometimes they don't really think parents have a clue. And we do, but they don't know that yet. And so it's been fun to see where she's recognizing that and asking for it. And then I'm like, hey, remember, you can do this yourself too, because I'm all about teaching people how, so that you don't have to rely on someone all of the time. So those are the two modalities that I'll focus on the most on Saturday when at the conference that's going to be here in Idaho Falls. My class is at 10 o'clock, and I'm also offering mini body code sessions and or foot zone sessions, whichever one you'd like, and I can help you decide if you don't know. and I'll have a sign up sheet for that. I actually will start at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm there all day other than when I am teaching my class. So those are some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I have been able to help and share with other people. Now, I do have an offering for, especially for local people who are within driving distance of Idaho Falls. With Tammy's conferences, one of the things I found when I go is I want to do everything. I want to go to every class. I want to try is whatever fits for me, because she brings in so many people that it's fantastic. It gives lots of opportunities to learn different things. And just like when you go to the grocery store, you don't buy everything, right? But you find out what works for you. Some of the times when you go and there's lots of vendors and there's lots of practitioners, we have, I don't even remember how many, I'm looking at the list, but I can't count and talk at the same time. There's a lot of speakers and there's lots of people that are teaching different things that they offer. And so there's lots of offerings throughout the day. And sometimes you just can't go to everything, right? So you have to pick. It's like picking, ooh, I want this one or this one. What can I go? If you are a local person and you would like to benefit from either the mini body code session or a mini foot zone session, I'm offering them for $20, 20 minutes for $40, which is a scream and deal. And I'm going to offer that pricing for the next 2 weeks for people who, if when you're looking through schedules of myself and then all of the other practitioners and all of the other vendors, if you're like, man, I just can't get it all in, but you'd like to take advantage of that, I'm going to have some sign-up sheets that you can schedule it in, and you'll be able to have that pricing for the next 2 weeks. I've had people that buy different packages during that time because it's always, I'm all about a deal. So if I can get a deal, I'm going to do a deal. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work out. But anyway, I wanted to offer that for local people. And you're welcome to still sign up. And I've got a sign up sheet for the day and already have people on it because I've had people reach out and go, hey, can you put me on your list? Yep, you bet. So I just wanted to offer that as well. And I am going to, one of the other things I do in my classes, I will teach some different techniques that you will practice in class for those that want to practice. If you don't and you just want to listen, that's cool. I get it. But I'm going to teach some different techniques to kind of help balance and ground and be able to get you back to that neutral state. If you're like I am, or I teach this a little different way in my classrooms. But if you're human, there are days you might be spun up, and there's days that you just can't pull it together. Or maybe not, maybe I'm the only one on the planet that does that. But I've learned some ways and I've learned some techniques that are really super effective. And I like to teach them. I like to give some snippets and some tidbits of things that you can learn and then go home and try, right? And whether you try them with, my grandkids and my students, there's lots of different things that I do that from littles to olders that work. And you just shift it a little bit different for the age group, right? So they don't look, your teenager doesn't look at you like you're cracked. However, mine have, and they still like me. But anyway, I like to teach a few techniques that you can take home that are just, here you go. So you have them, you can try them, see if they work for you. If you're like I am, sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to get it so it works for you. But if you never try, you don't know. So wanted to let you know that as well. And there are some great speakers that are going to be there. It's kind of an open house style, so it's really fun because you can come in and hit a couple of speakers, go run a few errands, come on back. Tammy's really good about bringing in as many as she can, and both of speakers to be able for you to learn and be able to gain some knowledge that way, as well as vendors. I love it. So that's kind of what I have. Tammy, if you can think of anything else, I'm just excited to share, and I love going to Tammy's conferences. It's been,
You're
I'm trying
sweetie.
to think when the last one, when was the first, it's been,
Oh my goodness. We've been doing them now for about 10 years, and we
right,
absolutely love coming up to Idaho Falls. You guys are like my people up there, like that's where I graduated high school.
right,
I don't know if you knew this, but I even went to kindergarten there over by the mall off of 17th Street, where that old
right,
Burger King used to be.
yeah,
So yeah, I started kindergarten and graduated high school there, but I lived a million other places in between.
right,
Okay, like
right.
19, not a million, but
No, but
um,
more than the average bear, for sure.
so anyway, I just love coming up there. I get to see a lot of cousins and whatnot. So for those of you who are thinking you might want to come to the VIP night, I'm
Yes.
excited because Joy will be there also giving us a little snippet of information as well and doing some fun volunteer stuff. And it's a meet and greet. You can come and mingle and get to know a bunch of the speakers. It's going to be really great. So Joy, do you happen to have any of like other classes that you were looking forward to going as well that you'd recommend for people? I'm just
Yes.
thinking if they were looking at the schedule, like what would you recommend?
So I'm going to look off to the side because I have it up there, because I'm a promoter of what works for me. And I've
Mhm.
been that way since the beginning. And I've had people say, why do you talk about that? And why do you talk about that? I'm like, because it's helped me, and I
Mhm.
can't help myself but share. Like, I
Mhm.
just can't. I would explode. And so Shelly Joe is fantabulous,
Mom,
and
I'm on the phone.
I use her amino acids. I talk about her amino acids. I use them every day, like every day. Um, and I have them in my office to offer clients. So Shelly Joe is one of my favorites that I would highly recommend. She's wicked smart about all the details behind it. I just use them. I know they help me. I know that truthfully with the amino acids, it's going on 3 years.
That's
3 years
amazing.
that I have been able to phase off some of my medication, and I take amino acids, and
It's awesome.
I am thrilled. So she's one of my favorites. I do love, and I feel bad because I can't go to everybody.
Yeah.
So if I don't say your name, don't hate me. I'm not there's no ill will. Um, Tori Miller with the lights and the free
Mm,
lights. If you've never gone to a conference with Tammy, the harmonic light therapy, which I've been really blessed, I have that in my office. I offer it when I do foot zones in my office. I don't bring them at conferences, but they'll have those complimentary. You want to just jump on it and get on
yeah.
that list. But then Tori's amazing, and she's my mentor for the lights, and she's super smart with
Yeah, she is.
knowing all the ins and outs. So that's a really good one. And I do love the Reiki gatherings. I've done that
Mm,
before, and that one's a little later on in the afternoon. So if you had to run errands and come back, that's one of them. I and to be honest, I've not gone to all of your classes at conferences, but I've
yeah, that's
taken
okay.
every darn class you've ever offered. And
That's awesome.
it's so any of them that I really like, the one that talks, you do ones that just about basic energy, because some people just, I mean, like it's foreign, it's like a foreign language, and you're really good at explaining that. I really love the one, pretty certain you're doing one about
I'm doing one for crystals.
crystals, and
Hmm.
I probably need to go back to that one because I have them in my office. I use them, I wear them, I have them in my classroom. I don't
Yeah, you're
explain them in my
amazing.
classroom. I just have them for kids to
Hmm.
be able to go, and if they need to be grounded or they need to do, I might go look at the bucket of rocks. And
Hmm.
so I use them all the time, but I don't think you can ever get too good at that. Um, and there's just some great ones. There's some good ones about anxiety. There's ones about
Awesome.
healing, just different ones. But those are some of my favorites that I
That's cool.
highly recommend, and I promote within my own class things that
Mhm.
I use on a daily basis. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, very, very good. Thank you so much for the recommendations as well. I really appreciate you. So if people are watching right now, and they didn't get in on this information, I want to make sure you guys have this. This link that I'm putting, oh, no, that's the wrong link. Sorry. I put some book suggestions down about some of the things that you were talking about.
oh, good.
Like that book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Yep.
It's kind of a dry book, but if you really want the science on what we're talking about here, it's a great
Right.
place to start. A lot of people, that's one of their beginning books. Another one that I
Right.
would say would be The Emotion Code,
Right.
Simply by
Well,
Dr. Brad.
yeah. And
It's a
he has the
fantastic
new
one.
one too, the
Oh, yeah.
body code.
That's right. So here's the link up here. It's in the pinned comments here. It says enter to win a body code session. Go ahead and click on that link because you don't even have to be at this conference in
No.
order to enter this contest. You can just go
Right.
ahead and click on this link, and then Joy will reach out to you if you end up winning. So
And
it's great.
I don't think I ever said, but I'm going to choose 4 peeps for a free
Cool.
session. And what's great is even if, like, say you're watching this, because Tammy, you have an amazing following. Say you're watching this and you're like, stink, I don't live in Idaho and I can't get to Idaho for the conference. The great part, and the reason I'm offering the body code sessions, especially on this platform, is because we can do sessions like this. We can do a video chat. I can do a phone session. I can explain it all. So it's something that's way cool because it doesn't have to be in person. And sometimes I think people get a little frustrated, or maybe, who knows, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that because it won't apply to me. But really, the body code session,
It goes for everybody.
it goes for everybody. Like, you could be in Zimbabwe, it wouldn't matter. Like, it would just be, that would just be a timing issue. But it's something that I'm going to choose 4 people, and I'll also choose at the conference. I always have like a giveaway and to enter to win, so you can enter there as well. So I'll reach out to you with that, and I will more than likely wait till Sunday to choose for the free ones because today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I'll give you a
It's going
few
to be a
days.
little bit slammed, but then I'll choose my 4 peeps and then be able to reach out and then line that up this next week.
All right. That sounds really good. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Or I'll see you at the conference.
I'll see you Friday. Yes.
Sounds good. That is awesome. I love her so much. I don't know if you guys can tell how much I really just appreciate her vibe, her dedication to helping other people. I just have a lot of respect for her, and am so thankful for her trustworthiness as well, because she really does love people so much. Hey, Karen, how are you? Hi, Loana. Hi, guys. How are you? I wanted to also share a couple of my favorites as well for this particular conference. I mean, yeah, come to my classes if you want. They're going to be a lot of fun. I do tons of fun things. I've got handouts this time, so you'll be able to go home with stuff as well. But let me tell you about a few other things that's happening at this conference. For example, starting at 8 a.m., our local yoga expert, Nicole Packer, is going to be doing a breathwork session for the morning people who arrive. Her class starts at 8 a.m., so make sure you're there. So you can be in there bright and early, and you'll also be doing intention setting for the day as well. If you are a local health entrepreneur or you're going to be at the conference, I highly recommend coming into my class that's at 9 a.m. And then we also have let's see. I've got a few other classes that's happening. 11 a.m. is the basics, how to use crystals. If you've ever wanted to be a life coach or learn about being a life coach, Robin Johnson will be doing that at noon. This will be her first time ever doing that. Then, of course, we've got the basics of energy healing happening at 2 o'clock. And it looks like I skipped over one of the things I'm really excited about also. Of course, everybody on the schedule. Is going to be amazing. And you got to go to where you feel aligned with that information, or you feel like you want to learn more about it. It's my job to tell you a little bit more about some of these. I was talking with Danny and Annika Wilder earlier today. They live in the Rigby area. My mom was born in Rigby. I have uncles and aunts that live in Rigby. Sorry, I'm all excited. Okay, so their class is called Epigenetics, the Mother Wound and Healing. And I was just sharing a brief story with them earlier today about my grandmother. I was going through some of her stuff with my mom. My grandma had kind of acquired some stuff and unfortunately graduated this life. My mother had acquired a lot of her paperwork, right? Type stuff. And so 10 years it sat there after my grandmother had passed. And I said to my mom, let's go through some of this stuff. And one of the very first things that I found when I went in there was this yellow legal pad. It was a notebook and I had the date written on it. My grandma used to go to a lot of seminars like Zig Ziglar and different things like that. And inside of the notebook, well, the very first top page, it had the date and it was 1979. Y'all, that was the year I was born, 1979. And this was an activity that she did in one of the seminars that she went to. And in the seminar, they had them write down all of their negative thoughts. She had written these all down. And the crazy thing is, I had hired a mentor not too long before this. I was working with Kirk Duncan, Bob Proctor, a few others around this same time period. And one of them had me do the same activity. Y'all, my grandma's list that was written in 1979 and my personal list of all my negative thoughts, they almost matched, not just the words, but also in the order. It was a little eerie, actually, because it's not like my grandma and I talked about it and then I wrote down things because my grandma had told me. No, she wrote that down the year I was born. And I just think that a lot of these things get passed down, right? It's not just the color of our hair or the color of our eyes or the size of our nose or the shape of our feet, things like that. Your genetics are a lot more. And this is actually epigenetics, which is a little bit different. Okay. Epi means above. So there's just a lot of details that you can come and learn more about what to do about it. What are some processes that you can do? What are some things that maybe you hadn't ever learned before? Maybe you didn't learn these things in school. Now I have healthcare also professionals that come and learn about energy healing at our conferences. It's really fascinating. And I love to learn about these kind of things. So there's generational healings that's on the schedule. And a lot of these people are not just doing lecture format. They're going to be doing group sessions as well. So I highly recommend look through the schedule. I'm going to go ahead and put the link down in the comments one more time. If you yourself have not yet gotten tickets, this is my email that's going across the bottom of the ticker screen here. I want you guys to be able to check that out. And then you can go ahead and also click on this comment that I just barely posted. And then you can click on it and see what else is on the schedule, learn about the speakers, what else is happening. We're going to be there starting at 8 a.m. and we're going to go all the way till 7 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn right near the falls there in Idaho Falls. I'd love to have you come as my guest. Let me know if you have any other questions or need anything. That's my private email right there. And hey, Annika, I just saw your comment. She says, yay, I love this story. And we are in Idaho Falls now, actually. We moved a few months ago from Rigby to Idaho Falls. I didn't know that. That's so cool. So my dad lives in Idaho Falls. I have tons of family that live there. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. I'm going to be coming in early and I'm excited to be able to connect with you guys there in Idaho Falls, Idaho. If you cannot come to this one, but you're interested in one on the Wasatch Front, we also have some conferences coming up that are a little bit closer to Utah. Now, if you're like, I don't live in Utah or Idaho, I would strongly consider having you look at the Ogden conference that's happening this summer. That particular one is amazing. We're expecting 2,500 attendees. In years past, we've had 4,000, but knowing kind of how, some travel things have been affected and, the world is different in 2023. We've kind of lowered it a little bit, and we are looking forward to having a fantastic conference. Last year, we did have about 2,300, so it's just slightly bigger than last year if you were able to come to that one. So energyhealingconference.com is our website. Please feel free to go check out that as well. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll see you guys next time.